All right, guys, welcome back for some more remote learning. We're going to continue our look at fish today, but we're going to look at a different group. We're talking Maine's warm water fish now. These guys, unlike those cold water game fish, they can withstand a little bit warmer temperatures, lower water qualities. It's almost a misnomer, though, to call them warm water fish because many of these fish do just fine in cold water as well. They're kind of like the generalists of our game fish, but they can withstand much warmer water, hence the name warm water game fish, right? So we said they thrive in warmer and lower quality water. I think about warm weedy ponds around here being full of these warm water game fish, and that's kind of what makes them so successful and so dangerous for our cold water fish, is that they are much better able to succeed in a variety of habitats, and often these warm water fish show up and outcompete the native cold water fish that were already there. These guys can spawn just about anywhere, and human beings have changed the landscape and changed our water bodies in a way that have really allowed warm water fish to take over in a lot of cases. So because of that, we consider a lot of our warm water fish in Maine invasive, meaning they're non-native and they outcompete the native species that were there before they showed up. And we have a big problem with invasive fish species in Maine getting moved around by folks we call bucket biologists. Those guys who think they may know more than the biologists, and they want to move fish so that they have them closer to their house at a nearby body of water. It creates massive damage. Most of the time it can't be undone, and it's a real problem around the state of Maine with a variety of fish, things like northern pike, muskies, black crappie, large and smallmouth bass. All of them in most cases are considered invasive, and we have big problems. You may see a sign just like this at a boat ramp near you if you're going fishing this spring. It'll say trouble by the bucketful, and it's asking you to please stop stalking moving fish around in the state of Maine. It's hard to tell there, it's a little pixelated, but it's a $10,000 fine if you're caught moving these fish around in the state of Maine. Let's say you get caught by a game warden with a bucket or a cooler full of live pike or crappies or bass. $10,000 fine, and that's a deterrent to prevent people from doing this, and you can get yourself a $2,000 reward for information leading to a conviction on somebody who's moving these really bad invasive fish around. So let's talk real quick about our warm water fish we have here in Maine. Right off the bat, I bet a lot of us have caught or seen these around. They're in almost every body of water here in York County. But largemouth bass, these guys are introduced. They're originally from south of us, and they've been brought here by people. But one of our most popular game fish in the state. We've got smallmouth bass as well, a close relative of the largemouth, but they prefer kind of rockier, colder lakes compared to largemouth, which can survive in really weedy, shallow water bodies. Smallmouth also introduced, being brought here. Another one of our largest our warm water fish is the northern pike. These guys are highly invasive. We really worry about them. They're an apex predator that love to eat trout and salmon, and it makes for big problems when these guys get introduced into new bodies of water. Here's a native warm water fish, the chain pickerel. These guys have been here since the last ice age. They're a close relative of the northern pike. They just don't get nearly as big. You're talking 26 inches. I think the state record's right around 6 pounds. You compare that to a pike, they can get up over 40 inches, and I think the state record pike is like 31 pounds or something like that. So chain pickerel are a smaller cousin of the pike, and they're native to Maine. The black crappie is another introduced invasive species that we worry about. It gets moved around a ton. People love to ice fish for these guys. They're delicious to eat, and they're fun to ice fish for, and that's a problem. It makes people move them around, and that's an issue. They outcompete native panfish very regularly, and ponds end up getting full of these guys. And once there's too many in a pond, you stop getting bigger ones, and you just get a pond that's full of tiny little black crappies. Classic scenario there. We have white perch in Maine, which are native. They prefer kind of deeper warm water lakes. I think of places like Kennebunk Pond has a pretty good population of white perch. They travel in large schools, and they are one of our native warm water fish. Another native warm water is the yellow perch. I bet a lot of us have caught these, or caught them worm and bobber around the state, and they have that spiny dorsal fin you got to look out for there. Another native warm water fish, the pumpkin seed sunfish. We have a couple different species of sunfish in Maine. We have an invasive non-native, the bluegill, that's been brought here recently. But man, 90% of the time you catch a sunfish in Maine, it's probably going to be a pumpkin seed. That's our most common sunfish in the state. Another native panfish. And then our final native warm water fish here is going to be the brown bullhead. It took me years to learn that that was called the brown bullhead, because my entire childhood, to me, that fish is called a hornpout. And most Mainers call that fish a hornpout. It's our one of our only native catfish in Maine. They're found in like just about every warm, weedy body of water around here. And people love to eat those as well. They can be delicious table fare. So the hornpout, aka brown bullhead, is another one of our warm water fish. So another quick lesson today. Just like we did last time, I want you to pick one of these warm water fish that we've done today. Go back, use your Fishes of Maine book that's posted in our class stream, and upload that to iBooks so you've got it on your iPad permanently, and do a little species profile on one of these warm water fish. All of the information you need should be found in that Fishes of Maine book. Makes it pretty straightforward, but go ahead and get that assignment done today, get that submitted, and you'll be all set. I really appreciate your effort tuning in, getting a